Let's bring up this guy. You know, he's always well prepared. He's one of the pillars in our office. Man, it's you know, you talk about you know some of the things that I mentioned about really taking your business serious and really getting to the next level. Matt's got some great stuff. You know, like I said, he's always well prepared. He's always willing to help out the team. So I want you guys to pay close attention, take some copious notes. It's always fight for the front, so I don't know if someone's actually sitting there, but there's an extra seat. Never take a back seat to your business. Please give a big round of applause to Matt Chang.
All right, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Can you hold that? Yes. I'm trying to scoot this over so I have walking space in between. I'll take that back. Thank you. All right. You guys fired up or what?
Yes.
Should be. It's Saturday. You guys are all crazy for being here. You guys got to realize that. And most of you are like, yeah, you guys are crazy for working on a Saturday. But you ask me, this is not work, is it?
No.
Because what are most people actually doing right now?
Sleeping.
Because they're like, oh, you don't understand, Matt. It's the weekend. My wife says that to me every once in a while. She's like, why do you still work so hard on the weekends? Because I want to retire you. Is that something so wrong to do? Right? And you know, a few things. It's something that we were talking about in pregame. Nick and I were just talking about it. Right? You heard him mention a few things. It's you are going to be running a multi-million-dollar business. Let's just address that right now. Okay? And if you're going to run a multi-million-dollar business, are you going to show up late?
No.
Okay, I want you guys to write one thing down. I just told this to somebody that I was just having a conversation with at a G's Base Shop. Excuses don't build teams and they don't make money. Because you hear all the excuses that people give you about, oh, I can't make it, it's one of those things, I don't believe in it, really. And that's the reason why those people live the life that they got. And now here's the other thing I'll tell you too. If you are running a business, what's your business plan look like? You know, this past Monday during Full Timers, Nick was like, I want a revised business plan for the last quarter of the year, what you're going to finish with. But also add in your affirmations, right? And certain goals that you want to look at, not only just within the next 30, 60, 90 days, but in the next 3 months, 6 months, next year. But also to stretch your vision a little bit more. What do you really want your life to look like in the next 3 to 5 years? Most people, they don't think that far, right? Something I keep constantly telling myself is I want to be a millionaire before I'm 40. I mean, how many of your friends that you know of right now, out, not in WFG, that you can associate with that are making $1 million a year?
Zero.
None, right? And to be honest, I know a lot of real estate brokers, no offense to them, a lot of them aren't making $1 million a year. By the way, it's all transactional. Every time they sell one house, that's it. Do they get paid constantly for selling that one house? No. We do for helping a family. Okay? And you have to treat it like you are running a business. Right? You have to understand our system, how it works, why we recruit, and the compensation. By the way, that compensation is what's going to help you recruit more people. Right? Like I did, Nick called me, was that Thursday morning, Nick? I think it was. Nick called me, he's like, hey, are you in the office right now? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. He's like, hey, I'm actually running late, I'm doing something else. Can you do a one-on-one for me? I'm like, sure. The guy that came in that's his guest right now, what sold him was the compensation. He's like, I want to be in sales, I want the flexible schedule, and I want to make big freaking money. Right? And the only way you're going to make big money is by recruiting and field training. And when you actually see the slides I prepared for you guys today, you're like, okay, it makes sense. And I believe after today's talk, you guys will, it's a shift in mentality where there should be no reason why we don't have 20 guests in that room every single BPM.
Let's go.
Right? Okay. So, Can I have a very straightforward conversation with you guys this morning? Do I have your permission?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get into it. Full disclosure, because I'm going to talk about a few different topics today. I am not a tax professional. For tax advice, please see a tax professional. And the reason I'm saying that now, because it's being recorded, is because I'm going to talk to you guys like a business owner. Okay? And the reason I say that, because really, in this room, there are only 2 people that are really business owners. Or technically 3. There's only 3 of us. And you guys are probably like, well, what are you talking about? We're all business owners. No, you're not. Because you don't run your business like a business yet. Right? So a few things. Right? Nick says this all the time. Money isn't everything, but I'd rather have more than less. Isn't that so true? Mm-hmm. And all these people say, oh, Matt, you don't understand, money isn't everything.
Dang,
Really?
I got a quote.
Yeah, you got a quote, man. Right? You hear all these people, Matt, money isn't everything. Really? So you rather go work at freaking McDonald's? You gotta work for minimum wage. What's minimum wage nowadays? I don't even know. Like $10 an hour? Like, you guys realize working $10 an hour, right, for 40 hours, that's, what is that, 400 bucks? That's $1,600 in a month. You guys could go write one app, and that would be 1,600 bucks. You guys realize that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
By the way, you're self-employed. You keep 100% of that for yourself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody else is having taxes taken out, they're having Social Security taken out, Medicare tax, all this other stuff. That's why when people say, Matt, you're in sales, your commission, all this stuff, yeah, a whole bunch of it. And guess what? I get to write off a lot on my taxes, right? Something that Ty Lopez says. You're vulnerable if you only have one source of income. Okay, how many of you guys are working a job right now? Okay, let me give you a very harsh reminder. You could be fired tomorrow for no damn reason. Because guess what? They can hire somebody and pay them less and work them twice as hard. Right? That's what happened to me over at, when I used to, a lot of you guys know I used to do shipping and receiving out in Pomona for 2 years. Company was downsizing. And they laid me off because I was making a little bit more money than a few of the other employees, and they hired somebody else they could pay less. Crazy, right? But now here's the big one. If you treat your business like a business, it'll pay you like a business. If you treat your business like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. And now, something I'm going to mention, and like I said, it's a very straightforward conversation, no offense to anybody. The only reason why a lot of people get involved in a lot of things is because they can't focus on one damn thing. Like, I get 3 to 4 DMs every single day on my social media asking me, hey, are you open to this? Hey, are you open to that? Hey, are you open to this? No! You know what I'm focused on? WFG.
Are you focused?
You know, Steve Jobs talks about that. Steve Jobs talks about being focused. He was so focused on building Apple, he could care less about what the stock price was. Because he knew at the end of the day, it was going to work out. It was just a matter of time. Right? Like, I've been here 8 years. And yeah, it hasn't happened for me. But guess what? I still keep moving forward. Right? It's all about your staying power, your stickability. Right? People have one little thing happen in their life. They're like, oh, it's not for me. I got to focus on this. Bull. You know, I've even gotten, I mean, how many of you guys have ever gotten flack from your family about doing the business? All the time. All the time. I had one conversation with a few of my aunts. You guys know I'm Filipino. 3 of my aunts are all nurses. Right? Like, Matt, why don't you go back to school, get your degree, da-da-da. You know, I literally told them at a family gathering, for what? To be like
That's
you
right.
guys? I'm like, really? To be like you guys, where you miss half the family gatherings, you're working 60, 70 hours a week, You miss Christmas, you'll miss Thanksgiving, you'll miss New Year's, right? I got one of my aunts, she can't even make it to my freaking baby shower next month. That freaking pisses me off. But it's also a harsh reminder for you guys that somebody else is controlling your time if you're still working a job. Okay? Now keep in mind too, because they have you in control, they also control your income, they control your time, they ultimately control your life. Because you have to base off everything, like where you're gonna get married someday, where you go on your honeymoon, where your kids are gonna grow up, what house you live in, where you retire, right? That's all because you're still an employee. And because you still think like an employee, that's why you get results like an employee. You do just enough work to get by, right? Here, it's like the harder you work, the more you're gonna get paid. And the bigger team you have, right? Like I'm missing agents today too. And these are the people that need to hear this message, right? If there are more people on your team, you wouldn't stress out about money at all. You know, for some people, one of their financial dreams is that I wish I could put everything on auto pay and never look at a bill. You know, I have this conversation with like a few of my family members. They're just like, I can't put everything on auto pay. I'm like, why not? Like, we're just not making enough money. And mind you, these are all my aunts and uncles. Been working 30, 40 years at a job. That still can't put everything on auto pay. Oh yeah, to be honest, I don't remember the last time I looked at a bill. That's a pretty good position to be in, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you guys realize you write 1 to 2 apps, you guys being part-time, 1 to 2 apps a month, you put everything on auto pay. Some of you guys are like, damn it, Matt. Yeah, I know I'm right, because it's true. Okay? Now, because you are running a business, you got to think like a business owner, you got to walk like a business owner, you got to talk like a business owner, and you have to associate with business owners. Right? By the way, all these books I've read. If you want to take a picture, I'd suggest taking a picture. Okay, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber talks about just American business just in general. He talks about out of 100 businesses, 4 years later, 96 of them are all shut down. By the 5th year, if you're still around, you're actually profitable. You guys gotta realize how good we have it in WFG. You can go out and spend, or you don't talk about spending, but investing $400 into yourself. You got a code number, right? You pay for an AMA. You spend about another 20, 30 bucks on a course. You spend $80 on an exam. You spend another $180 to take your flash app, and another 20, 30 bucks to do your CEs. In your first month, you can be profitable in our business. There is no other business as good as WFG that you can be profitable your first month. Now, if you're not profitable your first month, guess whose fault it is? Right. Right. If you ask me, and it's something I just thought of the other day, all my success and the income and my mentality, it's all Nick's fault. But if I fail, it's my fault. Right? Just taking ownership. You know, everything that I will have in my future is because of Nick. I blame him for my success. I blame him for when I go across 6 figures. I blame him when I have a big ass base shop. But if I don't, it's my fault. Right? All these books between learning about your goals, that's why you read Think and Grow Rich, understanding the difference between an employee and a business owner, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Cash Flow Quadrant, our own system manual. Like, do you know the 6 steps of the system manual? That is like the bare basic you should understand in our company, right? The System Builder by Swan Wynn, one of the greatest builders in all of WFG, right? If anybody wants that book, I do have it in PDF. And that, by the way, that is a great book. So to kind of give you guys an idea, the system manual is the logic, the foundation, the how-to, right? The system builder is the psychology behind the business. Why do we do 3-3-30? Why do we do 10 and 10? Why do we do 25 and 25? Why do we do Popeyes? Why do we do BPMs? Right?
Why the exchange principle?
Why the exchange principle? Like the human psychology part is all in that book. You guys have to realize, in all these books I'm recommending to you could pay you millions of dollars a year. All you have to do is just read them. A lot of people think, oh, reading's stupid, da-da. Yeah, that's why you only make 40 grand a year. When you look at Alex Sardines, make $20,000 in a cycle.
Yeah.
1 of 8 cycles this month. By the way, we still got what? 2 more to go. 2 more cycles to go. Or they might just do one big one on Wednesday next week, which probably would make sense, right? And a classic, Pushing Up People by Art Williams. If you have not read that book, I highly suggest you get your hands on it. I mean, something that you hear all the big time leaders talk about is trying to find that one person. Like, Chris could be looking at me and saying, Matt, discover me, make me feel special. It's all about pushing up people, right? And then it's learning how to give people, to kind of lift up their spirits, right? Like something I appreciate about Brittany being here, she's pregnant, getting ready to pop, right? Literally 2 weeks away? And there are other people that should be here that aren't even freaking here. Because, oh, I got this, oh, I got that, da-da-da. Excuses, right? But she's here, right? Janice works as a nurse, getting off of work at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? You know, I appreciate Anthony because he's driving from San Jacinto all the way here. Jenny's driving from Lake Elsinore, right? Elizabeth's driving from San Diego, right? What happened, Pedro?
I was stuck in traffic and I made it.
Right? But here's the thing to go along with that. If you know you're coming from very far, leave earlier.
Yeah.
Now, here, let me kind of put it in perspective. If you knew you had 3 appointments sitting here right now, would you be late to your own appointments?
No.
Treat the BPMs the same exact way, right? Now, can we agree we all sometimes have very negative thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, if you haven't read this book, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, I highly suggest it. There's another book too that go along with it. There's a book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. I also highly recommend that book. You guys have to realize about 90% of your thoughts every single day are negative. Let's address that, right? And that's true. People are like, man, I got this going on, this going on, this going on. Man, what am I going to do with this? It's like, that's what happens. But you have to wrestle control of your mind first thing in the morning, right? Now, let me ask you guys, who here wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning, right, by choice? By choice.
5:30.
Okay. How many of you guys have to wake up that early because you have to? Okay. How long do you guys want to keep doing that? Like, the only reason why I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, especially because right now my wife's pregnant, I help take care of my wife in the morning, cook her breakfast, a few other things. But I'm already reading, I'm already prepped, I'm already out working out with Ash 6 o'clock in the morning. By the time I come home, I have breakfast, and I'm usually in the office between 8 and 8:30. Running the business like a business, like clockwork, right? And obviously, because we're in sales and leadership, you gotta read books on sales and leadership. All leadership is, guys, is influence. That's all it is. And you know how you gain influence on people? You just put up results. That's it. Like, I talk to other people in WFG, like, especially other people in G's hierarchy, they're like, oh, Matt, you should do this, you should do that. And like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, dude, you've never made 10,000 in a month. I'm like, why would I listen to you? Right? You always have to be conscious about who you're around with and who you're talking to all the time, right? But now let's really start talking about the business. How do you run your business? Are you part-time with a no-time mentality? You're here, but it's like, I don't really have time to run my business during the week. Really? How's the job working out? How's that 9 to 5? Or that 6 to 3 or 6 to 1, whatever, 5 to 2. Right? Because you have people that are like, oh man, you don't understand, I don't have time, da da da. Okay, next. Are you part-time with part-time mentality? There are people in here with that mentality right now. By the way, guys, you guys will fall into one of these that I'm talking about. Right? I'm part-time, I might get one app here, one app there, right? Or are you part-time with a full-time mentality? I'll give you guys a perfect example of this. Okay, how many of you guys know Elijah?
Yeah.
Elijah is a perfect example of being part-time with a full-time mentality. She was working as a server at Cheesecake Factory, going to school full-time, and recruiting and building and out in the field when she wasn't at school or at work. And guess who she leveraged for all that? Nick. Right? She's a perfect example of that. Because now here's the thing. A lot of people say, oh man, you don't understand. I got kids, I got this. And you guys saw Daryl and Sonia on Tuesday. 6 kids, both working 6-figure jobs, 60, 70 hours a week. They had roughly about 5 to 10 hours a week to build their business, and they did. By the way, I'm going to point something out. When I went there Wednesday night with Nick, there is no way why they should be recruiting more people than us. I looked at that crowd, I'm like, what the like, seriously. Like, I saw that, I'm like, all right, this can't be happening, right? Or maybe you're full-time with a part-time mentality. You're here, right? But you're not doing enough. Or are you full-time with a full-time mentality? You're here, you're engaged, you're getting numbers every single day, you're making phone calls, you're out on appointments, you're recruiting people, you're doing pop-buys, you're maximizing your time, right? Let me ask you guys something. How many of you guys actually call people if you're just in their general vicinity? You say, hey, I just want to pop by and visit. Right? Some of the more seasoned people, we still do this. Right? Just say, hey, I'm in your area, I just want to pop by real quick and say hi. They're going to say, yeah, come on by. In the door. Done. You take full advantage of it. Right? But now here's going to be my next point to go along with it. Do you think you're free just because you're working on becoming an entrepreneur? You're wrong if you think you're free. You actually have less time. You have to treat your business like you're an employee of your business. If you know what time you have to show up at your job every single day, you should do the same thing in your WFG business. Like, I can probably count on one hand how many times Nick has actually beaten to the office in the past maybe 2-3 years. Especially when I was, since I came full time. Because to him, I'm showing him my commitment to not only for myself, but also to the team. Setting a prime example, right? So for those of you guys that are still working a job, and then after you're done with your work day, I would suggest writing down a schedule for yourself when you're out of work, right? Something I appreciate about Anthony, that's what he does for himself. As soon as he gets out of work at 3 o'clock, he will go out and get numbers for about an hour, hour and a half. We'll come to the office, make phone calls for about an hour, hour and a half, and if he doesn't have any other activity, he goes back out and gets more numbers. Right? That's exactly what I was doing when I was part-time. I wasn't married yet, no kids, didn't own a home, no real financial responsibilities. So I could blast every single day, 7 days a week. Right? How many of you guys are single in this room? Okay, 7 days a week. Let's go. 7 days a week. Even if it's only for a couple hours. You know, you spend maybe an hour making phone calls, maybe 2 hours while you're running your errands to get numbers. Right? I know some of you guys work out with Nick. That's a great way keep that fire going, that association, right? By the way, how many times are you actually hanging out with other people in WFG? Right? Just really think about that. Ash and I work out every single day, 6 days a week, just talking business. Right? And a lot of you guys have been over at my house before too. Right, which, by the way, Nick, I got to clarify this with you too, just double check, make sure that we can have a WFG baby shower here.
Yeah.
We're thinking the 27th, just so you guys know, just kind of laying that out.
Okay.
So that's, you guys will get a Facebook invite, the whole deal.
Okay.
I'll let you guys know, like, baby registry and stuff like that. But I think it'd be fun just to have everybody in here,
Yeah.
right? All right, now actually running your business. This is a checklist that I want you guys to write down, every single piece. Okay, are you licensed? Okay, raise your hand if you're not licensed. 1, 2, 3, 4. So only 4 people in here? Okay. How fast can you get that license?
Get it done.
You guys gotta realize that one license, that 150 question exam, could pay you $1 million a year. You guys will hear us say that over and over and over and over again. Right? And by the way, it's a $400 investment into yourself. How many people do you know that invested hundreds of thousands of dollars and they're not even making 6 figures? Right? I got friends that are doctors that are still in student loan debt, barely making 150 grand a year. By the way, they still got malpractice insurance and all that other stuff. So in all reality, we got it pretty good compared to a doctor. There's a post I saw. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. It said high-paying jobs versus, here it is. High-paying jobs, number 1, surgeon, annual wage of $352,000 a year. Psychiatrist, that was a funny one, $182,000 a year. General practice physician, $180,000. Senior level corporate executive, $174,000. A dentist, $146,000. Okay, highest paying jobs. Number 1, highest paying job out. Those are high paying jobs. Highest paying job, number 1, entrepreneur. There's no limit. There is no limit to how much money you guys can make in WFG being an entrepreneur, right? Can you log into the website? Have you been on it? If you're brand new and you haven't, I would just go on it today. And here's the reason I'm going to say this. It's, if you don't understand how to navigate the website, you can't run your business. About half of your business is on the website. Do you know how to get appointed? Right? Like, I love Missy that she's here, but one day she is not going to be here. So appreciate her while she's here and take advantage of her knowledge about how to get licensed and how to get appointed. But now let me ask you, if she wasn't here, would you know how to get your agents appointed? Because if you don't, how are you supposed to override an agency like this if you can't get them appointed? Because if they can't get appointed, they can't go on write business. If they can't write business, you don't override nobody. Right, like right now, I'm helping Anthony. He's getting ready to go do a follow appointment. He's got a $350,000 rollover in the pipe. You guys realize, as an associate, it'll pay him $6 grand. $6 grand. By the way, my override's like $3. And all I have to do is help him do the paperwork and help him get the money moved over. Now, that's an appointment I told him to go on by himself, by the way. Because if I would have went, my split plus my override would have been about 75, $8 grand. But because I'm trying to make sure he's completely independent from me, I'll gladly take my override. But now here's the thing. What if you had $6 grand hit your bank account on a Tuesday?
Yes, please.
By the way, what if every Tuesday and every Friday that happened? Okay, all comes from team building. Right? I think this month, I've only missed 3 cycles. And Nick gets 17% of everything I do. Just one dude. Right? But then you also have Reggie, 17%, Eddie, 17%. Pedro, actually 25, because he's senior associate, right? Lupe's a senior associate as well, it's another 25%. Jenny's an associate, right, that's 35%. Janice and Byron are associates, another 35%. And you guys realize that's where it's at. Now, can you do the KTP and close? These are all your fundamental stuff, guys. These are all your fundamentals.
You're in business. This is what you gotta. This is what you're doing.
Let's not get things twisted. You only make money when you close. By the way, closing is helping. Don't get it confused. Closing is helping people. By the way, for their own good. Because if not now, when? If not you, who? Right? I forget who said, I think you said that, right? I keep talking about that all the time. If not now, when? If not you, who's it really going to be? The government's plan? And what's the government's plan like? Not that great. Do you know how to check on your outstanding requirements? Right, like Missy, every couple weeks, she'll send out a message in the WeChat about who's all got pending policies with outstanding requirements. By the way, Missy, thank you for that. We appreciate you. Because by the way, don't you want your second advance?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, please.
That's your other 60% of your compensation. Right? Now, do you know how to address those outstanding requirements? Do you know the phone number you need to call? Do you know what form it is? Do they need a driver's license? Do they need a copy of the social, green card, whatever? Right? Sometimes they'll call the client for a personal history interview. Do you have that number? PHI. Or when you see an APS come in, attending physician statement, are you calling your client saying, hey, can you call your doctor and let them know that they're asking for an attending physician statement that you're applying for life insurance? As soon as I see that, I call my client right away. Especially if they're Kaiser. Who's ever gotten a Kaiser one before? Kaiser's a month. It's crazy. Hey, do you know how to read a commission statement? By the way, are you, even if you're not getting a cycle, are you checking your commission statement every Tuesday and every Friday? By the way, it posts by 5 to 6 o'clock every single Tuesday and Friday. And you should be looking at your commission statement, figuring out, okay, why didn't I get paid? Or if you did get paid, what did you get paid on? Because by the way, if Nick ever asks you for your numbers, if you read your commission statement, you could actually tell Nick to the T what your numbers would be. Like sometimes you hear me say a really weird number, right? It's because I can read off the commission statement and can give him my accountability. Right? Also too, when you're an SMD, you can actually see what your bonuses are. Right? Your SMD bonus pool, your super base bonus pool, your super team bonus pool, your IAI bonus pool. Yeah.
IAI.
Right? All that is in your commission statement. Also too, by the way, when you read the commission statement, you actually see who else on your team is writing business that you override, but also too your chargebacks that you can address. Right? And guess who I learned all that from? Nick. I learned how to read the commission statement, like when one of my agents gets a chargeback, hey, can you call this client, figure out what happened? Get that policy back on the books?
We'll probably do a training on some of
Yeah.
that products, the requirement, commission statement, some of these things, you guys too, just to piggyback, like kind of piggyback on this. So we'll go through each one of these and make sure we dial it all up. But you do have to be proactive and get on the site and
Yeah.
get familiar with this stuff so you know how to do it.
Yeah, because also too, guys, by the way, when you're an SMD, they do count your personal numbers when you try to qualify for a company trip. It's all your base shop persistency.
Yeah.
And if your base shop persistency falls below a certain percentage, even though you might qualify, they won't take you because your persistency is bad. Okay, you guys know what I mean by persistency? How much of your business stays on the books? Right now, I'm actually upset at myself. My persistency is at about 78%. Well, I'm like, dude, you're mad about that? Yeah. I want to get it above 80. Because That means I keep more than 80% of my income. Right? It's like saying, okay, you make 100 grand. If I keep 78% on the books, that means I have really only made 78 grand. Right? If you had an 85% persistency out of 100 grand, you'd make 85 grand. You guys see the difference?
Yeah.
That's why your persistency is really, really important. Okay, do you know how to do a one-on-one or be a BPM presenter, sell the compensation, and recruit somebody? For example, right? I just did one for Nick earlier. I just mentioned it. How well do you understand the compensation? You talk to a guy in sales, they want to know, okay, how much money can I really make here? Okay, that's one facet. What I was explaining to Michael the other day, it's like, now let me show you what it looks like when you're in a management type position. When you're a marketing director, senior marketing director around that area and showing the override structure, he's like, there's that kind of money here? Yeah. By the way, that guy worked 20 years over at AT&T. And now him and his wife own a small e-commerce pet store grooming service. And he's like, we're just not making enough money running a traditional business. Can you submit an AMA? Both paper and electronic. Do you know how to register someone into their course? Right, like I'll fill Missy's shoes when she's not here. Right?
How important is it just to be able to submit an AMA, you guys? I mean, you could talk to someone and they go, all right, I'm willing to give this a shot. If we all know people that want to make more money, if just filling out the app, getting them set up, and then just going, hey, the next step is to book a fast start with my, with my trainer or with my broker, and now you got yourself a teammate. Don't think you have to do a one-on-one at the office. You have to meet at Starbucks. You could call someone in Phoenix, Arizona and go, hey, you want to make some extra money starting a business that I'm doing? Hey, it's unbelievable. It's awesome. It's great comp. It's a big company. We're helping people. Well, yeah, what do I got to do? Hey, it's $100, right? One time, it's a tax write-off. You're self-employed. You can sit there and talk about the business. They go, yeah. You could go right on your iPad right there and sign them up. They could be in a whole other state, and you got a new direct recruit. And then we'll figure out how to get them trained, how to get them going.
Yeah. The main thing.
You got to know how to do this stuff.
The main thing, guys, it's okay. How many people can I talk to about this business? And how many people can I get on my team? Right? Everybody's gonna have a code number. It's just a matter if it's under you or somebody on your team.
Right.
I've heard Reggie say this before, don't catch your mom in the mo zone. Right? Next point. Do you even check the leaders bulletin? When is the last time you actually checked it?
Yesterday.
Right? But now here's the thing. You guys are part of Team Dominate, right?
Yes.
Aren't we competitive?
Yes.
And you should be checking the leaders bulletin every single update. Actually, you should be checking it every day just to remind you that I'm still behind. I still got people to catch, right? Like I'm looking, like I pay attention to all the MDs in the company. I see MD base shops doing 100,000 points. An MD base shop, right? Imagine seeing an MD base shop doing 100,000 points in a month. I've seen it. And then also too, are you competing personally, right? Do you see, I mean, if you guys really look at the leaders bulletin, I'll see people doing 100,000, 200,000 personal points in a month. I'm like, what the F? I'm like, but then also too, I have to think of it, something that Nick mentioned a while back, it's like, some of these people you see that can do 200,000-300,000 personal points in a year or even in a month, they're doing other things besides just recruiting and field training. You know what I mean? So, you have to start thinking, don't just think it's all about recruiting and training. Yes, it is, but also think of different avenues that you can go out and recruit people or get more clientele, right? Career fairs, health and wellness seminars, networking meetings, right? There's nothing wrong with expanding your horizons on going into different areas, different avenues to grow your team and to grow your business. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where you're even at for your next promotion? Like, do you know specifically, right? Like, Jenny, where are you guys at this month for team recruits? 2? Okay. You got today and tomorrow to do another 3. That'll be your first month of the MD, right? The MD club, right? 5 and 5 for the next 3 months straight. Do at least 25,000 team points. You're an MD.
Yeah. Gotta do your 3 directs, man. If you had 3 directs, you'd have 5. Right? Every month, you guys be doing 3 directs every single month. If I'm a CEO doing 3 a month, I did 5 last month.
Dude, wait till I get.
I got 2. I'm recruiting this guy right now. I mean, if I'm doing that, like, you guys should be doing it too. I mean, there's no. I mean.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Now, here's the thing. Okay.
Get promoted.
How many of you guys are associates? Raise your hand. Okay. All right. You guys realize you're going from 45 to 62 doing your 5 and 5 for 3 months straight. You guys realize you could literally increase your income by roughly 20% doing your 5 and 5 for 3 months straight. So imagine if you're making, say, $5,000 a month in WFG now, and you increase it by another 20%, that's an extra $1,000. What an extra $1,000 do for you and your family? Right? Here's the big one though. Do you have an office? Ed Milet talks about you're not in business until you have an office, a desk, and a phone to make phone calls. By the way, your office is an investment in your business. Also, too, by the way, it's also a write-off. Okay, so you guys know I have an office. That's a $7,200 write-off I have every single year. Okay? Somebody that's an employee with an office, right? If they're working at their job, can they write that? Do they write it off? No. Right? They probably take it out of their paycheck to help pay for that office. Right? So like myself, Eddie, and Reggie, we're talking about going to Rancho. That's a short-term vision. It's Rancho. Right? Nick talks about having an office in every single city along the 210, the 10, and the 15. Imagine, okay, who's in San Diego, right? You got Jenny, right? Elizabeth, Seton, right? You guys are down there already. Let's go. Now, can we get one in, say, Lake Elsinore? Right? Can we get one in Corona? Even though we probably don't want somebody in Corona, we just want to use this office, right? We got Rancho, Claremont, Upland, Ontario. Love Daryl and Sonia, but I'd rather have us have the office, right? Pasadena, Edlin, I don't think it's Edlin and Lumjung that are out that way. It should just be us, right? But here's the thing, here's the reason I'm gonna point this out to you guys, is when you have an office, it forces you to perform. Because now you know, crap, I got a $600 lease I gotta pay every single month, I better get to work. But now also too, the reason why you want to have an office is so you can conduct business. You can do hiring interviews. You can put up all your plaques, all your trophies. Right? There's a purpose in the way I set up all my plaques. When somebody's looking straight at me, they can see my $10,000 in a month plaque. I just want them to stare at that. Because I know they're not making that at their job. Right? How many of you guys know somebody that's making at least 10 to 15 grand a month at their job? Okay? Well, I know Reggie does, and Eddie probably knows a few. Pedro knows a few. Right? But majority of people, no. Okay? And that's the reason why you guys want people to come to the office. You want them to see that it's a physical office. That it's real. Because a lot of people think, is it one of those things? Is it like real? Yeah, it's freaking real. You want to see the direct deposits too? Boom. Right? That's why you want to have an office too. And it's important because also too, when you're putting in the work, you believe you should have an office anyways. Okay. Now, because we are talking about business, not only when you run a business, you get certain write-offs, right? So, That's how you save. How can I save more money within my business? You guys realize you guys are self-employed, 1099 malicious, correct? There are certain things, there are actually a lot of things you can write off. Okay, who's registered for Wealth Bowl once again? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a write-off. Your hotel accommodations, that's also a write-off. You go buy another suit, that's also a tax write-off. You go spend money on food, like when we go out to Wealth Bowl, that's also a write-off, up to 50% now. They changed the tax laws. Right? The dry cleaning, your office rent, your cell phone, your mileage, if you're driving a gas card. Right? You guys realize if your mileage, being self-employed, you get 54 cents for every mile you drive. So I'll give you a perfect example. 2017, I did 25,000 miles on my Mercedes. Guess how much I got to write off? 12 grand. It's okay to drive a lot. You get a bigger tax write-off. And if you're making a lease payment, you also can write that off. Cost of running your business. Okay, one suggestion, have a separate bank account just for your WFG stuff. And this is on the smaller side. You guys like, what are you talking about, smaller side? On the smaller side, you want to have a separate bank account that you can have all your direct deposits go into. And this is just for more accounting purposes than anything else. So have a separate bank account for your WFG business that you have all your direct deposits go into, and do not spend what you make in WFG. Your current bills and liabilities should be paid for by your job if you're still working one. So your job should be paying for all your household bills, all your liabilities, your credit cards, all that stuff. Everything you make in WFG, you should be saving and saving and saving and saving and saving. I mean, that's the reason why you get into WFG. Yes, it's to make more money, but you should be saving the majority of it, right? Cut down your expenses. I mean, how many of you guys still go through your budget every single month trying to figure out, okay, how can I spend less? I still do it today. Every month. Actually, I track what I spend every single day.
On the app.
Yeah, I have an app, plus I do it on an Excel sheet because I'm just like that. Right? But now, here's what I'm going to tell you guys, besides cutting down your expenses. Okay? You guys want to learn how to save more on your taxes?
Yes.
Okay. This part of my conversation might go over a few of your guys' heads, but for the right people, it's going to make sense. A few of you guys have heard me talk about this. You want to save more on taxes? Start a corporation. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'll actually physically show you guys. It's actually in my office. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to point something out to you guys. Here's the reason being. I'm going to really get into it. Okay. I bank with Bank of America because of my wife. She got mine to convert from Chase Bank to Bank of America. She closed me. Okay, it's my personal one. Now, here's my business one. Okay, Chris, can you read the name of my corporation?
Apex Concepts, Matthew Chang.
God, does anyone have an 11 o'clock
Interview?
interview? Someone's here at
Somebody
11.
said somebody will be.
On this.
No?
Anybody have an 11 o'clock? No, it might be, it could be Ash.
Okay, let me know.
Okay.
I'm used to it.
But you guys see my point? That's part of it, right? Apex Concepts, right? Because my team name is what? So I named my corporation after it. Now here's the reason why you start a corporation. What is a corporation? It's a legal entity that is recognized by both state and federal government bodies. Because remember, you guys, we pay tax on the state and federal level, correct?
Correct.
What are the advantages for having a corporation? For taxes. Now, what I'm going to show you guys next is literally going to blow your mind. Okay? And a lot of people think, no, it's better being an employee. No, it's not. And here. And by the way, this is my stuff. Just so you guys know that I know my stuff. These are my articles of incorporation and my EIN. or employee identification number, that allows me to open up a business account. Not only that, I can also build business credit as well, outside of my personal credit. People are like, is that even possible? Yeah. How do you think big corporation takes out loans to start a business? There you go. By the way, I'm going to tell you guys want to know, this is one of the best investments you'll have outside of your code number. You want me to tell you why?
Yes.
You know how much it cost me to do my corporation? $273 through LegalZoom. Now, that $273, let me show you what it gets you though. Let's compare. Here's an employee making 150 G's a year. No tax write-offs except the mortgage, interest, and children.
Money, dude, money.
Under the revised tax reform, it's a 24% tax bracket. 150 grand at 24% is $36,000 that person has to pay in taxes. $36,000. That doesn't include other deductions from their paycheck yet. So
That's just federal? Is that federal, state and federal?
state and federal.
Okay.
No, you're good.
But now let's look at it this way. If they net $114 a year after taxes, that's $9,500 a month. That's before any other deductions, like Social Security, Medicare, and all that other stuff. Okay, now, let's talk about a corporation, specifically an S Corp. Okay, because there are two different types of corporations that I'm going to educate you guys on. There's a C Corp and an S Corp. C Corp is mainly designed for companies to go public, but it's also known as a double taxation corporation, right? You guys are like, Matt, where is this all coming from? Okay, you guys want to sit down with business owners? Where the big money's at? You need to learn this. Right? I've had numerous conversations with Nick about how he does his taxes and how do you guys think I learned? Just talking to Nick. It's come over normal conversation, right? So C Corp is a double taxation, meaning they pay taxes on the profits and they pay taxes on the dividends when they pay it out to their shareholders. You guys have heard that before, right? Okay, now if you're an S Corp, right? I'm an S Corp. You have a certain amount of shares, up to 100. So I'm 100% shareholder of my corporation, right? So using an S Corp, let's just say same amount of money being made on a 1099, same $50,000 in business expenses, your net profit is $100,000, okay? Now, by IRS law, you have to pay yourself a reasonable salary based on your contribution to your company. Okay, let's just say, just to keep it simple, 50-50. If I pay myself a $50,000 salary, here's the thing, I'm not an employee, I'm a shareholder, correct? So I don't pay the normal 24 to 30% taxes like a W-2 employee does. I only have to pay self-employment tax, which is what, 15.3%, and state taxes of 1.5%. So my essential tax bracket is 16.8% on 50,000. How much do I pay in taxes overall? So what's my tax savings? Okay. This is a little, like I said, it's a little bit higher law, but now imagine, what if you're having a conversation with business owners that can save hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? And my conversation is like, if I'm sitting down with Thomas and Janina, and I know they own a business, Thomas, if I could show you and your wife how to use and leverage company dollars to be potential tax write-off to fund your retirement plan, your exit strategy, would you give me 30 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
That whole line? Yeah. So, Thomas and Gina, if I could show you guys how to leverage company dollars, right, to fund your retirement plans and be a potential tax write-off, would you give me 30 minutes? You guys realize that's why your self-development is so important in how you talk to people? Right? Like there's a book by Robert Kiyosaki that's written with his CPA called Own Your Own Corporation. I've already read through that book and like, that thing's freaking gold. There's a reason why you want to read that.
Can you repeat it one more time? Everybody.
So Thomas and Janina, right?
Just record it.
What if I could show you how to leverage company dollars to fund your retirement plan or your exit strategy. That could be a potential tax write-off. Would you give me 30 minutes of your time?
Yes.
Okay. How many of you guys know business owners? I know Jenny does a few. Okay. I would suggest you use that line. And they're like, well, how do you do it? Well, that's the reason why we need to schedule an appointment, a visit for me to come back, right? By the way, please bring your CPA or whoever's in charge of your books, because that person will ultimately help you make the decision on how much money they can really put away. You gotta remember, if you talk to a business owner, you're on their team, right? They'll have a team around them. They'll have a CPA, a tax preparer, an accountant, a bookkeeper, right? Their CFO, whoever. You want to make friends with them. You got to remember you're on their team, trying to make it all work. Now, what about that other $50,000 that's still in the corporation? The other $50,000 you take as a dividend, right? You guys have heard that before from shareholders. You take a dividend from your corporation known as a Schedule K or K1 distribution, which is 100% tax-free. So, have you guys ever thought about all the big-time leaders in WFG, how they keep so much of their money? There you go. Now you know. Right? And some of you guys have heard me say before, there's a tax system for the informed, and there's a tax system for the uninformed. Right? So if you know what you're doing and you understand how taxes work, there's no reason why you can't go talk to more business owners, right? But now, I'm going to wrap up with a few things, mainly about team building. Ash is going to handle this. You guys, this is going to hit home for some of you guys. This is a talk Ed Milet just did recently.
But he changed my life by believing in one person's belief in just a kid. I was just a kid.
When did you really start to take off? Did you build anything in the previous company?
Yeah, I did. So in the previous company, I was the youngest, what they call NSD. So that's like a CEO in the history of that company still to this day.
How old were you?
22. When there, it's hard. There, it's not. You don't go on runs or anything like that. They're like, you just earn your promotion, right? So, but yeah, I did good. Here's what I was pretty good at. Let me tell you what I struggled at. I was okay. I could write business. I learned how to close. I went to Tom Hopkins seminars. I believed in the product. I could write business and close. I could not figure out recruiting. And when I could get recruits, I couldn't figure out how to keep them. I couldn't figure out how to build a team, and I just struggled with that for years in the business.
Okay.
I mean, like,
You guys hear that? That's from Ed.
I know.
You know, for like year after year. And then when I would get people that wouldn't get developed, and I just struggled at developing people. I was not good at keeping or developing people in my business. So I've always made money. Like when you hear the stories of when I went broke, that's mainly when I left that company. Like I've always made money. I've always paid my bills here. I've always produced. People ask my wife all the time, well, what did you do when he was struggling? She's like, that didn't really happen. You know, I always made sure we had food on the table. There's no reason for anybody in our company to be struggling financially when you have a penny. There's no reason whatsoever not to be able to write this. You're just lazy. You just flat out don't work hard. You work in spurts. You don't work consistently. You don't make phone calls every day. You don't make approaches and contacts regularly. Because you don't do that, you may have intermittent production issues. But if you just work at the business consistently, you'll make money here. That's the funny thing is people always worry, am I going to make money? Absolutely you make money. The question is whether you build a team. The question is whether or not you can build leaders. That's a different situation. If you're back to the base thing of whether I can make money here, you just don't trust yourself. You have to work hard. So if you work hard, you'll make money. Our products are too good. Millions of people own our products, right? So it's not like people don't want them. We need to be able to sell our products to people. So anyway, I drove up the...
That's the 48th floor.
Yep.
Yep.
You heard it straight from Ed. Those license should be no reason why you're struggling financially. You just got to put in the work. That's it. So you guys have to realize it's the reason why we encourage you guys to come to the office to make phone calls, because you really can't make them at home, can you?
No.
Too many distractions. How many of you guys got kids? Biggest distraction in the world, right?
Yes.
Like I already know when my son comes in November, I'm like, damn.
Refrigerator.
That's why you hire staff. My mom's like, all right, when the baby comes, I'll help, because I know you guys are going to be busy with work. She's like, I'll come help babysit. My mom's been dying for a grandchild. Years, right? But now, here's you guys, when people talk about building their business or expanding their business, they talk about scaling your business, correct? How you scale your business in WFG is direct recruiting and team building, right? So just a kind reminder, $250 a month, 3,000 points, right? As a training associate, you can make as little as $900. As an SMD, you can make as much as $2,400. Average client in California can save between $200 to $500 a month. Average client, right? If you're in the right market where people can save $500, $600, $700, $800, $900 a month, those are markets you want to stay in, right? Because those people value money a lot more, right? Now, let's talk about a few basic things in our system, right? Let's say recruit Jenny, right? She becomes a client, and part of our system, what does she have to do to get field trained? She has to go on how many KTPs? 10. Right. Now, will she get paid on any of the 10? Maybe, maybe not, depending on whether or not she's licensed. But let's just say her personal app is $250, right? Even if you're an MD, right, I would make, or let's say it was Nick, or let's say it's me field training her, I would make $1,860 for just helping her become a client. And that doesn't even include her 2 kids yet. That's why you recruit in the market, right? But now, as Jenny's doing her 10 KTPs, I'm also helping her recruit and build a team. So let's say we recruit Elizabeth, we recruit Seaton, Sandy, and Brenda. Guess what they all have to do too? They got to do 10 KTPs. But now let's just say every single one also has to become a client. You've only written 5 apps. You're writing 15,000 points. Look how much money you're making already. $9,300 helping 5 families change their life. By the way, you're also changing their legacy. Now, if every single one has to go on 10 KTPs, and let's just say by a fluke, you suck, and you only close 30% of your appointments, right? By the way, put somebody like Eddie or Reggie or Pedro on 10 appointments, I probably guarantee they can close 7 to 8 out of those 10, right? But let's just say you suck, and you close 30, you close 30%, you close 12 apps at 250, that's 36,000 points, that's 22 grand. Everything is in recruiting and building, guys. It's not going to change. Look at your overall cash flow, 31 grand. Woo. Dude, most people struggle to make that in a freaking year. You can do that in probably 5 days. Like, really, how big are you thinking about your business? Like when people tell you, oh, it's one of those things, it doesn't work, really. So you making 30 grand in a month? Do you even have the potential to make 30 grand in a month at your job? Probably not. But here you can. And we want you to. Your boss isn't going to tell you, okay, Patrick, we want to help you make more money. Yeah, right? That means more hours out of my payroll and I got to pay him more? No, thank you. Right? Like I said before, they could just fire him and hire somebody for less money.
Literally.
Okay, now, here's where the fun starts. Let's just say now Jenny's an MD, right? She has Sandy, Seaton, Elizabeth, and Brenda. Okay? If every single person helps 4 families, right? We talked about that illustration, 1 family a week at $250. That's 12,000 points each. Jenny does that, she makes $7,400. Elizabeth does that, she makes $3,600. Right? Oh, I forgot to change this. Oops. My error, right? But if every single person is doing that, look at the override structure. That's between you and 4 other people, right? You're helping 20 families a month. 20 families' legacies change forever, right? And I'll actually share this story really quick because it's through field training and recruiting. I recruited one of my friends from middle school, high school, and when I was field training her about 3 years ago, she wanted to sit down with one of her best friends who I knew, and we wrote her on an IUL. Okay, now she's engaged, is gonna have her 4th kid So I've talked to her the other day and said, hey, it's time that your fiance gets life insurance because he's been putting it off. And she's like, no, that sounds good. Can you come next week on Monday? But she's like, can you do one other favor for me? I said, sure. Excuse me. I might be paying out my first death claim. I'm going to tell you guys the power of WFG right now. Her mom had cancer 2 years prior. And we did a Gerber final expense, guaranteed issue, 20 grand, $93 a month. She was 60 at the time, she's 63. When I called her the other day, mom's back in the hospital, they're not sure if she's gonna make it. It came back a lot more aggressive. Okay. So keep in mind, that's what we do. And you know how that happened through team building. Okay, I thought I'd go at least 10 years. I was hoping to go at least 10 years before potentially paying a death claim. I might be paying a death claim by the end of the year. I don't know. I'm praying for the best that she's able to go through chemo and everything comes out fine. But I've already prepared. I have a copy of the policy. I have the paperwork already ready just in case. But if it wasn't for team building and recruiting and field training, that family would not have that life insurance policy. I'm gonna put that straight. Okay, how many of you guys have ever, Reggie, Eddie, have you guys ever delivered a death claim before? No? Right, Nick says it all the time, buy life insurance for me because I've never had to pay out a death claim yet in 14 years. Right? But you guys have to realize that's what it's about. It's about the team building. That's how you're gonna grow your business and get to a point where you're helping so many people and you are the result of it. Go ahead, Reggie.
Just piggyback on team building, great point. I had a teammate, one at the time, he paid out 4 of that.
You guys gotta realize that's, go ahead.
I have an agent that I was trying to get her to be an associate, so she brought her sister in. She brought her sister in, became an agent, also was a client. $550,000 policy. 7 months later, stage 4 cancer, accelerated death benefit. She got $411,000.
Sounds about right.
She's surviving, going to Mexico, having some other therapy. Bought a house with that money through Brenda. Did some other things. Did a rollover with some of the money to set up her family, and she's comfortable. She should still survive and still paying a small premium for what she has left on her death benefit. That kind of stuff is huge. Okay, I mean, I'm glad that I didn't have to deliver a death, but at least I helped that family immensely.
So that's the thing. You guys have to remember, run your business like a business. You just change people's lives, right? And as we wrap up, the last thing, remember, success is what?
Your duty, obligation, responsibility.
One more time. Success
is your duty, obligation, responsibility.
That is your responsibility to your family. Okay, you have a lot of people you're trying to prove wrong, right? But the people that believe in you, prove them right. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day.